What's going on, fellow creators? It's Joseph here. It's been a while since we touched upon the topic of hashtags on TikTok. So a few things have changed since our last video on hashtags. So I thought in today's video, we'd break down the purpose of hashtags and explain how you can strategically utilize them to boost your content on the For You page, rather than simply choosing the top 3 recommended hashtags as your strategy on the platform. And as with anything we talk about, you know me, I like to play devil's advocate. Don't just take my word for it. I like to take a look at what TikTok says before we as creators come to any conclusions ourselves. So we'll start there. We'll talk about 2 hashtag strategies that you can make use of. And at the very end, we'll answer some commonly asked questions on the topic of hashtags, including a no hashtag strategy, using hashtags to target locations around the world, and much more. So do me a favor before we get started, like this video down below, consider subscribing at the end if you enjoyed this information, and let's talk TikTok. So let me give you a little bit of a preamble on the purpose of hashtags, because contrary to what most creators think, hashtags on TikTok don't operate the same way as they do on Instagram, for example. TikTok has been very clear that hashtags are what are known as categorization metrics that do play a difference in who your content is distributed to on the For You page. Remember, it's in the platform's best interest to keep you as a consumer on the app, on the TikTok platform for as long as possible, and it only makes sense that the platform would give us as creators some way to classify the ideas in our videos to help the algorithm distribute that video to other viewers on the platform who have engaged with similar content previously. So their primary purpose is to partially give the algorithm a good idea, general sense of who might be interested in your video. And secondly, it gives you a way as a creator of participating in TikTok culture. Now, on that note, there are 3 different categories, 3 different kinds of hashtags on TikTok: culture tags, featured tags, and niche relevant tags. Culture tags on TikTok are the tags usually over 1 billion views, the ones we all know and love. Hashtag FYP, hashtag For You, XYZABC, hashtag viral. We observe these frequently being used by a lot of top tier creators. Next, we have feature tags, and feature tags are generally associated with some kind of trend or challenge on TikTok, and they usually can be found on TikTok's discovery page. So if we pull up the discovery page, you'll see a lot of trending new effects or sponsored tags that are associated with a song or a sound, for example. These generally have a very, very short shelf life of around a week most of the time. Some of these stick really, really well. For example, hashtag Learn on TikTok was a sponsored tag by the platform and is still in viral circulation months later. Others, like hashtag 2018 versus 2021, hashtag Take a Bite, they lose traction within a few days and you don't hear from them again. The third category of hashtags are niche relevant tags. These are hashtags that are specific to the ideas that you share on your profile. If you're into money and personal finance, some niche relevant tags may include tags like hashtag personal finance, hashtag investing advice, hashtag master money, hashtag stocks. So those are the 3 main categories of hashtags that you can choose from: culture, featured, and niche specific. And we'll be addressing video views associated with hashtags toward the end of this video. As you may have noticed on TikTok's discovery page when you're researching, some hashtags have billions of views associated with them, while others are very small with several 100,000. So hold that thought for later. Let's talk about 3 different hashtag strategies that you can use, and we'll be showing some successful examples of each. So consider liking this video down below if you haven't already. Let's kick things off with method number 1, and that is the category diversity method. So the category diversity method is really, really simple. In short, you are creating a mix of culture, featured, and niche relevant tags. In previous videos on hashtags, we've suggested using just 2 of each. I think that's a good number I would continue to abide by. The purpose of this split or this diversity of categories is to give you a broad spectrum of attention on TikTok that you can tap into. Something's trending on the discovery page. You know there are eyeballs on that. Why not capitalize on that attention? The culture tags give you a better chance of tapping into those random audiences on the For You page, and the niche relevant tags help you to target those that are likely interested in specific aspects of your video, like dog training or cooking hacks, depending on your content. That's method number 1. Method number 2 is what I call the keyword research method. And this is a little bit more of a refined approach than what we just talked about. And it's what I recommend for creators who already have a clearly defined niche or central idea to their profile, like psychology, personal finance, career coaching, or pet relationships. The keyword research method usually includes using about 5 to 7 hashtags that are related to your profile as a whole or your specific video idea. And there's a series of steps that I like to walk creators through to identify phrases or keywords that can potentially be used as hashtags. So let's kick things off with step number 1, which is to identify your niche keywords. We're on TikTok's discovery page right here, and we're going to use the niche of chess, for example. It's a hidden passion of mine. You ever want to play, the link's down below. And there's a lot of niched keywords that we can search. We can start broad with chess, rook, king, queen, board, Magnus Carlsen, Bobby Fischer, but we're going to start with just the word chess. We'll start very, very broad. I'm going to search this on TikTok's discovery page. And we're going to go over to the hashtag section, and we're going to see all these different hashtags that appear with different tiers of video views associated with them. And this leads us to step number 2, which is to compile a hashtag list of usually about 10 to 20 hashtags that you see. I use the app Evernote. It makes it very, very seamless to make a list on your mobile and then transfer it to your computer, where maybe you'd like to do more research on TikTok's desktop app, which I'd highly recommend that you download it. It's a more seamless way of accessing the TikTok platform without going on to TikTok.com. But that's what I would recommend. The video is not sponsored by Evernote, but I'll leave the link down below if you're interested. And what I would recommend doing here is taking one of these hashtags, compiling a list, and step number 3 is to browse related videos associated with these hashtags. So if we use chess TikTok or chess wisdom, chess challenge, chess streamer, let's just take one that's a little bit more specific, maybe in the hundreds of thousands of views. Something like chess move, for example. And we'll see all these videos that appear. And I'm going to click on one of these videos, and I'm going to pay attention to 2 things. Number 1, what is the split of hashtags that's being used, and how successful is that video in particular? So maybe I start with this one, and we see chess, genius, hashtag chess move. Okay, there's a very, very simple split there. We'll scroll down and find a video maybe that is not quite at the top, which a lot of these are ranked by high engagement. It's not necessarily the view count. Here's one right here that has a split of a lot of different chess tags. Chessando, chess move, chess tactics, chess tour. Like chess tour is one that I didn't see that originally came up when we looked at the hashtag section of TikTok's discovery page. And so what I'm trying to do here is I'm gauging some of these more successful accounts in the chess space, which is a great way to find other accounts as well that you might consider following, so that the videos on your For You are going to be recommended to your niche in particular. Take a look at those profiles, take a look at the tags, and you might utilize not the same groups over and over again, but a good portion of those tags that maybe would not have come up had you searched chess. Because sometimes if you're searching a keyword on TikTok's discovery page like chess, it's going to find hashtags that have that phrase chess in it. And people that are using that chess hashtag might have other hashtags that are related to rook, king, queen, pawn, or other elements of the chess game, and that's how you find these on TikTok. Method number 3 for hashtags is going to sound a little counterintuitive to what we just talked about with category diversity and keyword research, and that's to use no hashtags in your videos. Now, hear me out. TikTok's algorithm is a learning machine. We've done videos on it on this channel. Heck, there are entire research papers dedicated to understanding the complexities of the TikTok system. And it's great to give the algorithm a general understanding, a general idea with hashtags, who to show your content to. But sometimes not giving the platform a head start forces it to try your videos in front of different audiences before it doubles down on a particular demographic. For example, I've had coaching students that have created videos with no hashtags and said something like, I trust the algorithm to distribute this video to people who need to hear this message, and these videos have done phenomenally. Sometimes giving TikTok's algorithm no information with the hashtags or keywords or captions to base your video off of, no indication as to who should see this video in particular, encourages the platform to place it in front of people that you otherwise wouldn't reach, see who engages with it in particular before it locks onto that particular demographic and you start to see virality. That's also one of the reasons, and we've talked about this in previous videos, why videos on TikTok often will not go viral until several days, if not a week later. There's this learning curve that the algorithm is going through, and it often takes time for it to find the most prime audience for your videos. All right, so we've talked about different hashtag strategies, different research methods. Now I want to spend some time answering some of the more commonly asked questions on the subject of TikTok hashtags, starting with question number 1, should I use location-based hashtags in my videos? So this is a discussion we've actually been having recently inside our TikTok Creator Pro community. We've had several employees from TikTok on interviews on this channel that have shed some light on this matter. And yes, there is a clear correlation between using, let's just say, German hashtags and influencing German audiences. One of my previous coaching students was a French fashion blogger from New York City, and prior to using any sort of French hashtags, her demographics were all US based. We started implementing a very subtle drip of French hashtags, French phrases, French words into her content, and we noticed that impacting to her actually influencing Canadian and French territories. Now, the big question is that so much these people that speak French are searching for hashtags, or is it the algorithm actually picking up on these keywords and then distributing your content outside of your territories? I think it's a little bit of both, and that's why it's not an overnight solution, changing the language of your tags, but it does have a subtle influence on different territories that you do influence around the world. The same can be true with your local area or your city as well. I mean, I've worked with realtors on TikTok, and I can tell you hands down that using regional or city-based tags does give you a better chance of influencing those locations near and proximity to you. And I want to be absolutely clear, this is not a solution by any means for changing territories. That's a separate video coming soon, and we do have some resources on this channel on that subject if you're interested. But taking it back to the purpose of hashtags, they exist to help you target audiences better, be that in their interests or their location. Question number 2, what is the best number of hashtags to use in a video? Personally, I find 5 to 7 to be a good number to stick around. I've had this conversation with other creators about that 5 million follower threshold, and a lot of them do like to drop it to around 2 to 4, simply because they don't want to give the algorithm too much information that might create too much of a specific focus in who sees their content. In general, keep in mind that too many hashtags can also obstruct your video from being viewed. I've seen many examples of text bubbles or crucial portions of the video that are blocked. The bottom third of the video is cut off because 10 to 15 hashtags are used and all that available caption space is maxed out. So do keep that in the back of your mind when using hashtags. Question number 3, should I be using the same hashtag groups in multiple videos? A few thoughts on this. Number 1, TikTok has mentioned previously that an issue that they've dealt with internally is the creation of filter bubbles by users that are viewing, watching, searching such specific content on TikTok that's all they begin to see, those specific videos. And it's actually resulted in a lot of extremist problems on the platform with different political ideologies and things of that nature. We won't get too specific there. But the same can be true with hashtags as well. If you're getting very, very specific with your hashtags, very hyper niche relevant ideas, there's only so many people on the platform interested in those ideas, and you very well may be stifling your chances of going viral by getting too specific. I see this happening a lot in the gaming, anime, cosplay spaces on TikTok. There are a lot of character names, locations, worlds, games that have a cult-like following behind them, but those audiences are very, very small and limited on TikTok. And while those audiences are very hyper engaged with the content, the views are generally pretty low. The same goes for niche relevant tags as well. You see creators that capitalize on a sponsored tag like hashtag Colgate Smile, which was a big one a few months ago. They get a viral video and then they use that hashtag in every single future video thinking that's the key to success, when in reality, that hashtag lost its relevance weeks and weeks ago, and now hashtag Colgate Smile is just dead weight on your videos. Question number 4, when should I be using culture tags like hashtag FYP? Great question. My recommendation is to use these broader culture tags when your content is broader in nature. It's what you'll observe many, many top creators doing. I've had these conversations with successful creators in our Facebook community groups, which I'll link to below. If there isn't a specific theme to your video, it's a prank, it's a visual effect like Zach King, it's a song and dance routine, it really isn't intended for a specific audience, is it? It's intended for TikTok culture, so that's why we go broader, and that's why they're called culture tags. So that pretty much wraps up this video. I sincerely hope it gave you a better understanding, more clarity on how you can optimize hashtags on TikTok properly. These strategies that we've covered today work phenomenally well for creators inside our TikTok Creator Pro community, our Let's Talk TikTok community group, which I'll link to both of these down below, and I'm sure this will work very, very well for you if you apply what we learned today. So thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like down below if you enjoyed this video, and we'll catch you around next time. Take care. Cheers.